Howdy, howdy. Welcome back to the Hardcore Podcast. This is episode 72. And I'm your host, Christopher Norwood.
And I'm your host, Robert Melton. This is actually episode 72. I don't know how we messed that up last time. But yeah, last episode was 71. And this is 72. And this is also information that is useless. You can see it when you've clicked on the video or the
I feel like it's easy to do.
pod.
Once you've been kind of doing this as long as us.
Yeah, we're kind of experts.
Oh, gosh.
We don't quite have our 10,000 hours in, but...
No. I wonder how many hours.
I don't know. I'll have to add it up as a collective at some point.
Yeah, because I feel like hitting like a milestone, like hour, like a 1,000th hour, like that's a big deal. I mean, I think we're pretty far from that, but something like that, or 500. I don't know. But yeah, welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. How are you?
I'm not too shabby. You?
I'm good. I've been on a long break. I go back to work tomorrow, but I feel good. I've been actually doing a lot of gaming. I would say I put a probably like a work week's worth of gaming in. Like a 40 hours worth of gaming in.
That's actually quite a bit.
Yeah, and I actually finished a game.
Did you finish Tomb Raider?
No, I didn't finish that one. I beat Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you did that.
So that is a game I started long ago when it first came out. I think that was a 2019 release.
Jeez.
And I got like halfway, I got pretty far. Then I dropped it. And then at the beginning of this year, I decided to go ahead and get the definitive edition for the PS5, start that, dropped it for like a month, picked it back up, put about 12 more hours into it, and finally beat it at the 40-hour mark.
Is there DLC for that?
There actually is, and I haven't got to that. So there's still stuff to do. But
Did you really finish?
Credits rolled. Credits rolled. I'm counting that.
Fair.
Towards my 20-game goal by the end of this year. So
well, you're 2 or 3 games in?
3 games in. Yeah, so
okay, so it was Lego.
Yeah, we're counting Lego Fortnite
Power
just because
World.
we beat everything. We're counting Power World because we beat everything.
And then Ghost of Tsushima.
Ghost of Tsushima, and I hopped back on Xenoblade.
And then you dropped Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Yeah, but I'm definitely going to pick that one back up. I'm hoping to beat Xenoblade and beat Tomb Raider, because the Tomb Raider games usually aren't that long. But I'm hoping to beat both of those games before Dragon's Dogma 2 releases. Which is in a couple weeks.
How are you going to play Final Fantasy Rebirth?
I definitely am. I'm going to restart Part 1, Final Fantasy VII Remake. Don't know when that will be, but it will be this year. I'm calling it. That's going to be that's going to be 2 of my 20 games this year. Yeah.
That's going to be impressive.
Isn't that crazy? Like, beating 20 games is already a big feat for me. But, like, most of them are, like, longer games. I don't know why I've decided to choose these long games, but, yeah, 3 of them, just those 3 there will be 3 JRPGs.
Yeah. That's long. You know, it'd make more sense if you went ahead and played Final Fantasy now.
Yeah, but then I'm dropping 2 games.
What do you mean?
I would have to then drop Xenoblade and then still have Tomb Raider dropped.
I mean, you still got another 30 hours of Xenoblade to play.
Yeah. I mean, how many hours do I have of Final Fantasy?
I think I pretty much 100% of that game at like 60 hours. Something like that.
Exactly.
That's not that bad.
Yeah, I mean, I still have 30 more in Xenoblade. I'm like at the 30-hour mark.
If you just go through the story, then you're good.
Yeah, but I'm at the 30-hour mark in Xenoblade. No, I'm there's a ton to do. I'm like trying to just focus on the story.
Yeah.
Xenoblade is a little grindy though. So you do have to put time into like grinding for experience and stuff.
Damn.
Yeah. But I mean, it's fun. I enjoy the combat. It's definitely different, especially in comparison to something like Final Fantasy, Final Fantasy VII Remake. But it's good. No, I'm having fun. It's really got to a point where the story's kind of has its claws in me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So,
heck yeah.
Pretty excited for that one. But yeah, no, I mean, shoot, the games I want to play, a lot of them are JRPGs. but obviously I want to play Final Fantasy VII Remake, Rebirth. I started playing Xenoblade because I enjoyed the second one so much. Didn't finish that one either. But I'm excited to start that one all over and then eventually play the third one that came out a couple years ago.
Oh, you're playing the first one.
I'm playing the very first one.
Oh, okay.
Because that was ported over to the Switch.
For some reason, I thought you were playing 3 or something.
Nah, this is the definitive edition of the first one.
Gotcha.
That was I actually looked it up the other day. That game came out in 2010.
Damn.
Yeah, so that game's 14 years old, but solid-ass game. Crazy to think they put that on the 3DS.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked when you told me that.
Well, I mean, in comparison to, like, the Wii, most Wii games, all Wii games don't really look that great.
I'd like to take a Wii on the Wii. What a shit console.
Yeah, well, this was definitely one of those sleeper titles, like hidden gems.
They had a few of those.
Yeah. That's
Wii Sports,
literally
banger.
Just a handful of good games on the Wii. And a lot of people don't like this entry, but I really enjoyed Smash Bros. Brawl.
People don't like that?
Yeah, well, I think
like it's the lesser of all of them.
To like the Smash Bros, people usually kind of shit on Brawl, but that's what kind of got me into Smash Bros. Like I played the original, obviously Melee, but it was Brawl where like me and my friends at the time we were playing that a shit ton.
Mario.
That's
cool.
Yeah. But that's really all I've been up to. Just still running with my boy Remus and playing some games. Xenoblade again, beat Ghost of Tsushima. We started usually when we're both off, like Tuesday and Wednesday, we'll do some.
Hold that thought.
I'm
gonna run this intro, then we can kind of get into that.
Run that.
I had to go ahead and run that thing before it hit the 18-minute mark like last week.
Oh yeah, seriously. So yeah, it's kind of nice because it plays out. There's like 2 weeks a month where we will kind of stay up playing games together on Tuesday nights. And when we're both off Tuesday, when we're off Wednesday, we usually stay up Tuesday and find a game to play. And last night, we decided to play some Elden Ring.
Yeah.
We decided to return to that universe because we have the DLC coming up. Not that we're going to beat the game before the DLC comes out.
It's been 2 years since I played that.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, we had to
since release.
We had to relearn those mechanics and get good all over again.
I think we put in around 5.5 hours or so last night.
6 hours.
And I'm still like trying to figure out the key bindings and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like still like trying to sprint with L3, like jump it off of torrent and shit on accident, and
it's weird how long it takes for like it to sink in.
Yeah, but I think it's partly because like I feel like it'd be a lot easier to get accustomed to it if I wasn't playing kind of like an action genre or anything in like a recent time frame.
Mm-hmm.
But like going back to back, like from, Power World to Guardians of the Galaxy and Final Fantasy Rebirth, I'm just like doing shit and I'm using way different key bindings.
Right.
And now it's just like, okay, you hold circle to run and dodge, X to jump, which is, that's usually jump. But in the Soulsborne game, it just feels weird.
Mm-hmm. Because, you're holding, depending on what controller or keyboard you're using, you're holding like B or circle to run and then X or A to jump.
Yeah.
But it was still getting used to it because I'm going from Ghost of Tsushima to then playing on the Switch controller, which is the circle or B equivalent is what, is usually X or A for most games. And then going back to like using an Xbox controller on my PC, so it's it takes a little while. Again, it takes over 5.5 hours to get used to because I'm still kind of fucking up.
Mm-hmm.
But that was fun. It was a fun return to that universe. I just have been wanting to return just to actually get some type of grasp of the story, which we are playing with a Seamless Co-op mod, which has been working really well, but we also are playing with a Convergence mod, which doesn't make it the easiest to keep up with the story just because it kind of throws you somewhere random. But still, I'm going to do my best to kind of like read item descriptions and just kind of look up some lore and just be prepared for when I do hop back into that DLC.
Yeah, so the DLC comes out in what, June? Somewhere around there?
Something like that.
But yeah, this Convergence mod, it's got quite a bit added to it, like a ton of new spells. It seems like new bosses that we've never come across or something.
Yeah.
I can't tell if they're vanilla bosses or just bosses that have been put in different areas or something of the sort.
I don't think we've come across anything completely new, but there was one area where it took this almost sub-boss, but when you go to that area, it made them like a complete boss. Like they had the long kind of like health bar at the bottom, but I don't remember them being like a boss.
Yeah.
So it definitely tweaked a few things there. But it's been really fun. It kind of puts more of a focus on like, hey, you know, just kind of play around with builds, you know, messing around with like magic and stuff, because it does slowly allow your kind of mana gauge or whatever it's called to like slowly refill on its own without having to take some type of potion solely to refill it. So that's been kind of fun.
Yeah, definitely.
But it also seems like it has made... like it's kept the balance. So where it's kind of given you that, made it a little bit easier there. It feels like some enemies are a lot harder than I remember.
Yeah, because some of these enemies, they're given the new spells also. So they're hitting you with like crazy shit.
Oh yeah, and enemies like sub-bosses and bosses, it seems like they have healing potions. I don't quite remember that. But again, it's been 2 years.
Yeah, so. Well, some of them did, like the normal like invader types. Like they'll usually have like potions.
Yes.
But yeah, there's
that one boss at like the Evergal, like the bigger boss that had like the almost like the sun they threw out. I don't remember them having like a potion, but again, could be completely wrong.
Yeah, I don't even remember that boss. So
yeah. Which I mean, there are so many of those Evergals spread out throughout the map, so it's easy to kind of miss one.
But definitely cool, especially like all the classes they added. So you start out with like a pretty I wouldn't say a good build per se, but you get like just like starting equipment,
an amazing starting
for your class build.
Yeah, and there's a lot you can do there, because they like you started out with like a blood sorcerer kind of, so you're just doing like blood damage, which is super OP. I started out with like a magma lava kind of sorcerer build.
Yeah.
So that's been kind of cool.
The
Volcanist, the blood Volcanist. But yeah, no, had a good time with that. So again, before the DLC drops, I don't know if we will completely go through that, but it will be fun to kind of go back to on those Tuesdays and Wednesdays when we do have that time to play a game. At least we have something there that's available. And it's something we already have, you know, we don't have to buy a game.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun to just fuck around in, if anything.
Oh, seriously. Yeah, it's super fun.
Because we started pretty much at like the third boss or so.
Yeah, we started at the academy.
Yeah.
I forgot the boss there, but yeah, we started pretty much like right at the academy, so we had to kind of make our way down to Limgrave, and now we're at that very bottom castle area that they changed a ton with this mod. The Convergence mod changed that area a ton. Added a shit more.
Definitely felt enemies. way harder.
Oh, way harder. And again, I don't know if that also scales. I don't know if it just recognizes a Seamless Co-op mod being used, so that scales it itself. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure about that either, but I don't remember that area being that hard or difficult to figure out either. I don't know what the fuck.
Oh, yeah.
We were having like a difficult time with that shit. Like, where the fuck do we go
we really
to get
had
to this boss?
Study the architecture.
Yeah, quite a few times over.
Yeah, we were stuck in that area for, I mean, at least half of the time of that play session, 2 to 3 hours for sure. But yeah, no, that's I had fun with that. I'm glad we decided to do that.
Yeah, I took my precious rebirth time away just so we could do that.
I appreciate that sacrifice.
It's okay. I had fun.
Speaking of which, Rebirth, how's that been going?
Pretty damn good, I gotta say. It does start a little strange. Especially because I didn't even watch the recap. I was just like, yeah, let me see. Let me go into this and see if it kind of gives you an idea of what kind of happened. And it does, in a way. But I gotta say, dude, it's fucking good. There's a lot of different shit that they added. And I know that there's a lot of shit that they added that I haven't even seen yet, just from the trailers that we've watched.
Mm-hmm.
But like the chocobos, like every region has a chocobo that does different things.
Oh wow, that's kind of neat.
I 100%ed the first area I even went to because there's like a bunch of shit on the map that you can do.
Oh wow.
And it took me about 15 hours to do that.
Are you going to continue that?
I think so.
The way that you play through, just each area, just do your best.
Yeah, I think so because I don't know, I've never been like a completionist by any means, as in like 100 or I don't know. There's a difference between like 100%ing a game and then like getting a platinum on a game. So
excuse me.
I did technically, I guess, 100% like Final Fantasy 16. I did everything you could, aside from maybe leveling up every single item and shit like that.
Right.
I did platinum God of War Ragnarok, just because I wanted as much playtime out of that as I could because it was a phenomenal game. But with that game, you don't have to go through fucking the hardest mode possible to get that.
Yeah,
Which that's kind of a fucking nuisance. I hate that.
Yeah, platinuming a game is I definitely see that differently as like 100%ing a game.
Yeah.
Because that's just based on the game. Because some games may have you have to beat the game 3 times.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, that's how like Hogwarts Legacy was. You got to play through every fucking class.
Yeah.
Every house.
Funny enough, I don't know why I was looking at my trophies the other day on my PlayStation, but I had realized I actually platinumed 2 games.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Which, I mean, makes sense. It's one of those, like, well, they're the Telltale games.
Oh, yeah.
Those Batman games I tell you about. But it's like, okay, I platinumed this, but I think if you just go through the game, you platinum it. But you would think platinuming it was maybe playing each, making every single decision to see how it plays out. But
right.
No, I guess if you just go through the game once, you platinum it.
Interesting.
So kind of
shit.
cool.
We platinum Power World then. There's only 10 achievements.
Oh yeah, that is true. That is true. Actually, before we started up Elden Ring, I'm only missing 10 trophies in that game. Yeah.
I'll have to look through that.
75%. I don't know what they are. I don't know if you have to maybe beat the game in like a new game plus.
I guaranteed.
Or beat all the bosses, sub-bosses, side bosses.
That game's got a lot of definitely a lot of bosses.
Yeah.
But it's got a lot of different endings, so you probably have to get a few of those.
Yeah, that is true.
Which I guess you could technically get that if you were to like
save at a certain
spot and then just kind of
make those decisions.
Yeah, because it's difficult because it depends on the decision making you make throughout the game. So
yeah,
that's hard to
especially
hard
with
to
those
say
games, you would have to know. You'd have to do the research, which is definitely a gripe I have.
Right.
But still fun. Do you think with Final Fantasy, I'm trying to think of just like the player you are, because I've seen you do these things in the past. But with Final Fantasy, do you want this to really just be like your experience, or do you look up like, all right, what are the gems in the games that you equip?
Materia?
Yeah. Are you looking up like, all right, best materia to equip to Tifa? What's the meta partner attack? I don't know.
No.
Like, are you looking up any of that?
No, the only thing I looked up was like a tips and tricks video. Just because when you get, oh man, it's fucking almost, it's kind of overwhelming, the systems that they have in place with that, because they're throwing a lot at you at once. Because they're kind of assuming that you come from the last game, but I haven't played the last game since it came out.
Right.
And there's still a lot different that I don't remember from that game being introduced in this game.
Mm-hmm.
So there's just like a lot of UI stuff that you have to like pay attention to really know how to use it. And there's like synergy attacks, synergy abilities, how to get synergy ability, how to summon your fucking summon, how to get the ATB gauge, and this all just sounds like fucking gibberish.
Right.
To
I
you.
mean, I can kind of hang.
So
just because a lot of those are like kind of just Final Fantasy.
Exactly.
Mechanics.
Yeah. But yeah, it throws a lot at you at once. So you got to kind of sit there and read and actually pay attention to what it means. So I was just like, yeah, let me just see a tips and tricks video, see if I'm like missing anything. Right. And it turns out I wasn't, which is good. But it's definitely like the combat takes some getting used to, because you can go into the settings and change if you want to, you know, do like full melee without the time slowing when you go into your selection cog or whatever. But yeah,
or if it's more just like real time.
Exactly. Yeah, which definitely changes the pacing.
Yeah.
But I don't like that.
It's kind of nice it gives you the option though.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like I would like for it to go slow, just for me to like really learn the placement of everything.
Yeah, because I like to play strategically. I'm not just like trying to go in there, hack and slash, and just, you know, hit a fucking sponge.
Yeah, it just gets boring after a little while.
So I like to, type of player I am is I am gonna min max to my best ability. I'm not gonna look it up, but yeah. So I'm gonna like, there's an assess materia, which you use to figure out the weakness of your enemy.
Oh,
and then once you do that once,
Libra. Or Libra, however it's pronounced. But I remember that being like the spell for like that, for finding out the information on your enemies and stuff, their weaknesses and all that.
So it's nice. And then once you figure that out, you just hit the fucking touchpad. It'll come back up once you've scanned them once. Then you're like, all right, so they're weak to fire and ice. So I can use this fucking skill that I have that does fire and ice, and it's going to be like quadruple effective or some shit, you know? But yeah.
Do you think the, because you said it's almost overwhelming, unless maybe you came like right from part 1 to part 2. Do you think the pacing is good of it throwing?
Oh yeah, dude.
Or is it just like, here's it all, good luck, learn?
I think if you go through it, I think it's definitely like a good pacing, but there was like a couple fights that I had a little trouble with, but I just went around and like did like the little stuff, and I came back to it and fucking mollywopped them.
Right.
So, I think the pacing is good, especially the story. Like, I've barely touched the story. I'm like 17 hours in or so, and I'm only on chapter 4.
Oh, okay.
So I've seen maybe past the intro, maybe like, I don't know, total of 15 minutes of cutscenes, if that, something like that.
Yeah, again, if you are kind of going place to place and trying to like fully complete those areas, then yeah, you're probably going to get, it will be, you will get the most out of the experience.
Yeah.
Like where someone could go through the game like 40 hours, you know, it may take you like double that if you are trying to kind of 100% these areas.
Well, the cool thing about it, the system they have in place for it, it's really rewarding. So everything you do, you get like a good item or something for it. Or an upgrade, you know, just different shit.
For finding everything in these areas? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, it's not even just like finding things. It's just like the little mini quests you do. You go to an area, you fight like off some enemies, or you have to go find an enemy and then do like a certain thing to it. Just different shit like that. Or like for the first summon that you find, there's these like temples for that summon, and if you go to it at each one, it'll weaken it, and then when you go to fight the summon through like that VR thing, if you remember in the first game.
Oh, actually, yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
And then when you go to fight it, it's weaker, and it's also leveled up. So there's a lot of incentive to actually go out and explore.
That's a pretty cool system. Yeah, I mean, it's also probably a good organic way to kind of grind. You know.
And fucking Red 13.
Is that your boy?
Oh yeah. I'm running Cloud, Red, and Aerith right now, and That's a good ass team.
Hell yeah. No, because again, Xenoblade is pretty grindy. But again, I'm enjoying it, but I do like the pacing of it. But it's weird because the systems in place are pretty deep, and they take a little while to kind of master. And I'm still like really trying to like master and figure everything out. But it's like they throw something new every like 10 hours. So you're like, oh my gosh. There was one point, because again, this is me not rushing, but like I'm trying to finish this game. I'm not doing all the side stuff, but you have to some extent to grind. But I had to put it on casual mode for a little bit just because I was like, all right, I just want to get past this. But like you were saying, you don't want to kind of hack and slash your way through the game. It started to feel like it kind of lost some of the fun, so I had to switch it back.
You know, I was comparing this as I was playing it a lot to Final Fantasy 16, and there's a lot of fucking stale moments in 16. I can't lie. So this one fucking outdoes that game by a mile. Although I love the story in 16, there's just a lot of stagnant areas in that game. And it does feel like you're kind of hack and slashing your way, like, around.
Isn't it pretty crazy? Okay, so preface with, obviously, with these remakes, they're able to explore the original story, but, like, add to it, really flesh everything out. But isn't it crazy that this game that came out so long ago, I don't know what it was about this Final Fantasy, but they just went above and beyond to just create this like huge universe.
Yeah, dude, it's
like, that's so wild. Like, think about every Final Fantasy. Every Final Fantasy is kind of different, you know, pretty much different. It's a different like universe they're creating, you know, an immersive universe. But like something about 7, and I guess that's why people are so obsessed with it. But like they really just went all out with that one.
Dude, it's fucking nuts.
Can you imagine that? Just like for each entry in the game. And, you know, they come out. It's not like you get one Final Fantasy every 8 years, you know. Like, they come out pretty quick. But just having to, like, all right, we're starting from scratch. Let's world build.
Dude, I know.
And just come up with new concepts and new lore every single time.
Yeah.
And, you know, you have some things that are the same with, like, the summons and GFs. But, like, that's so nuts.
That is true. I never really actually thought about that, because every Final Fantasy game is essentially just a different world.
Yeah. Yeah.
With similar things, like you'd said. But yeah, that's weird. Yeah, you got to come up with an entirely fucking new story. You're pretty much making like a brand new video game.
Yeah, and just obviously with each installment, I'm sure you have new people being recruited, but a lot of these games, you probably have the same teams, the same people, so it's like, those guys are talented.
Yeah, I know,
like,
because
really trying, all right, I don't want to incorporate any of this. This needs to be something that feels fresh. And, you know, the same guy in charge that was in charge of the last ones, you know, like.
I know. Can you imagine just like
pure talent?
Sinking your heart and soul into like a game, and then you're like, all right, did you do it next year? You're like, how in the fuck? I just used all my best ideas.
I know, seriously. And then just to like, imagine that being us. Obviously this is not a career path we chose,
right?
But like, I feel like if we really put our hearts into something and been working on this game for 5+ years, and we release it, and then we're like, all right, let's start working on the sequel, I'd be like, dude, I'm burnt out, man. I want to do something else. It's just crazy that they're like, nah, I mean, people love it. This is what they expect. Like, I'm sure there's some pride that comes with that.
Yeah, I think that's a similar thing to like, I don't know, say like an actor that's been maybe doing like the Marvel films, you know, for the last 15 years. That's why they're like, yeah, I'm like out. I don't want to do it anymore. Like, I've just been working on this shit for so long, you know?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Because I remember early on, Tom Holland. Yeah, that's his name, right? Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember early on, you know, getting a role like that. That's incredible. But I think, I remember seeing, like, interviews where he's like, oh, man, I'll play this role for my entire life. But even now, he's like...
I know, yeah. Recently, he was like...
kind of give it a break. You know, maybe if it's just a story that needs to be told, I'll do it. But I kind of want to give it a rest.
Yeah.
That's just funny.
Crazy.
But those guys are like, nah, you just gotta come on, keep them coming, especially a name like Final Fantasy.
I know.
It's like with Pokemon, like, it's not gonna end, you know, it can't end.
Yeah.
Like
somebody's just gonna pick it up.
Yeah, you have this massive fan base just so established. I don't know. It's just a perspective that a lot of people don't really think about.
Oh, absolutely.
So with going back to 16, it's like still an incredible game. I haven't beat it, but like I know it's an incredible game. But even if there are some like lackluster parts where it feels, in comparison, kind of slow and bland, like you almost can't blame them.
Oh yeah. I mean, how fucking tough is it to create a game that's 100% fun all of the time? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like as good as Elden Ring is, Game of the Year, it's not 100% fun. In fact, it's probably maybe 50%. Yeah, because most of the time you're just fucking getting destroyed and getting pissed off.
But you're just so, and it's...
But it's rewarding at the same time, which is, you know, that spark.
It's so deep, and it's, again, such a perspective that no one really thinks about. But if you're working on a game and you're years in, obviously you're going to kind of get complacent, and you're just like, I just want to finish this shit.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just working on this story and just making sure everything just kind of works how it should or how you envision it. But then you almost have to come back to it and be like, all right, so this is what I want. We got the mechanics. Now we need to make sure this is fun. And if it's not, what else do we need to add to make this fun?
Yeah, that trial and error has to be fucking nuts.
You know?
Yeah, I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
The development these AAA studios have to go through.
I know. And it's pretty heartbreaking when you hear about like
the layoffs and shit?
Layoffs, or just like studios, you know, the game just didn't sell how they wanted it to. They put so much money into it. And it's just like, man, that was a lot of there was a lot of people on that team that put a lot of heart into that.
Dude,
that people just won't, see.
That Prop Night studio.
I mean that. Or if it's like they put it out and the game gets totally shit on, it's like, man, that's gotta really suck.
Yeah.
That's gotta affect you mentally.
Oh, 100%.
You know?
Yeah, like this is something I've been working on for years of my life.
Yeah.
I've been pouring everything into this, and it just didn't turn out the way that a group of people that have been working on it intended for it. And yeah, it's just, that's fucked up.
I know. So moral of the story, and we're talking to ourselves here, but have some grace, people. Have some grace.
True. Unless you release
be humble.
That one game that Prop Night.
Well, I don't even know the full
Well, even
story.
then I have some grace too, but yeah, they're kind of forced into releasing that. So it does suck that literally their entire company just dissolved from it.
On top of everything we just talked about, that's another layer. It's just the pressures that you have.
Especially if you're a AAA studio, you're working behind Sony. They give you a date. You have to release it by this date. Like, that's why Cyberpunk got fucked. Yeah. Because they were like, listen, y'all been working on this shit for 10 years. Fucking put it out now.
And that's why I think different kind of work to some extent. But, like, that's why you see a lot about, like, the anime studios. Where they're just so burnt out and they're like wanting more, higher wages, or they're just like shutting down because they have to have that shit out like weekly, monthly, with like manga chapters, or, anime episodes. Like there's a lot of shit that goes into that, and they're just having to like, all right, man, this shit's got to get out. This shit's got to get out.
Right.
And they're just burnt out because they're working probably 80 plus hour weeks.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Couldn't be me.
Yeah, no, fuck that.
I like some free time.
It's funny because, like, as a kid, I'm sure that's what we all wanted to do. If you grew up playing games, you're like, oh, man, I want to make games.
Oh, absolutely. I definitely had that thought.
Oh, man, but now it's like,
then you think about
it,
you're
the last
like,
thing I want to do.
Nah, I'm out.
Right? Yeah, because I feel like on top of all that, you probably lose some of the fun.
Yeah.
When you just make it and you're like, man, I can't even, like, sit down and enjoy this anymore.
Right.
Because I'm sure from that perspective, you probably look at a game very differently.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's how...
for the good and bad.
Just from taking, like, a couple, like, digital media classes in high school, I look at movies entirely different now. I'm like, oh, I know how they did that.
Right.
Like, that's definitely CGI,
Mm-hmm.
I could see the fucking boom arm in this scene.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, you just see shit from a different perspective.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. That was a nice little rant there.
Yeah, indeed.
So all that to say, you were having fun with Rebirth.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I have not felt an ounce of boredom so far.
Nice. So worth the wait, the long wait.
I don't know about that. Nah, yeah, absolutely. It's been worth the 30-year wait.
Oh, dude, I'm sure.
And I'm not going to be excited to wait another fucking 5 years for the last one.
Yeah, just I'm sure that's part of the reason why you were just making sure you get every ounce of it. You're beating everything.
Oh yeah.
Did you look up gameplay? I don't think you played it, but did you look up gameplay for like Intergrade beforehand?
Nope.
Did you you did watch a recap video, recapping like the story of part 1? I'm just gonna call it part 1. I don't even know if it's really technically
some
part
of
1.
it. Yeah.
So is Intergrade not a continuation, but is it just backstory on a certain character?
I believe so. Yeah.
What is that character's name?
Yuffie.
I always wanted, I was gonna say I get them confused with Tifa, Yuffie, Yuna. But obviously I know who Tifa is.
Luna.
Riku. They all kind of, sometimes you're like, wait, which one is that?
Yeah.
Because Yuffie kind of does give me, what's that similar kind of character from Final Fantasy X? Yuffie.
Kamari.
The one that no, not Kamari, but the one that doesn't she kind of dance or something?
It's Riku.
Riku. Yeah. I feel like they have same energy.
No, they definitely do. Yeah. One just looks like Rock Lee.
Oh, yeah. Yuffie.
Yeah.
And I love that. You can't see it, but I got a Rock Lee
oh, yeah, true.
mat over here. Carpet. Rug. That's the word I was
Really?
looking
I
for.
thought that was Yuffie.
No.
That's Yuffie and Tifa combined.
Yeah.
The fists.
He's a man. He's dope. But no, though. That's good to hear. I'm sure Jeff is enjoying it just as much.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So enough about Final Fantasy Remake. Did you know that the House of the Dragon Season 2 is coming out in June?
Has there been a trailer? I did not know. If there was a trailer or something, I missed it.
I don't know. I seen IGN post it, but I did not see a trailer either.
That's weird to announce without a trailer.
I mean, they may have definitely released a trailer. I just don't know about it.
That's weird. I was on YouTube just seeing what would pop up as recommended. I just feel like that would have.
That is true.
Because that's pretty big news.
Yeah.
But cool. We take that.
Yeah,
I
was a huge fan of the first season, so
we had to wait
stoked
a while for that. So it's finally coming.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
All those strikes and shit.
Yeah. I mean, that pushed it back at least a year.
Dude, didn't a fucking Godzilla movie just come out?
I don't know if it was huge, really pushed, but yes. It's like Shin Godzilla, Shin.
Yeah.
Something
and
there
was really good reviews,
yeah,
right?
There was everything I seen, I would see just random TikToks or reels, and just people were like, I seen this really good movie. You're not going to believe what it was. And it was Godzilla. I'm like, man, I've heard this multiple times.
Yeah. Well, I've been seeing fucking commercials for a Godzilla X King Kong movie.
Yeah, so that's like the main ones.
Yeah.
See, I think the Shin Godzilla, maybe that was
it's a different studio or something?
A Japanese studio releasing that Godzilla movie, maybe?
Interesting.
I'm not 100% sure, but I want to see that one.
Oh, yeah. Baby King Kong? How the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, those I'll watch just because it's, kind of entertaining. I'm not watching it because I'm like, this is going to be a genuinely good movie.
Action movie,
Yeah, just an action movie,
for fun?
Yeah. I was going to say man movie.
Are you going to see, did you watch Dune 1, the first part?
No. I had started it, but no.
Oh, man.
I need to.
That's good.
Is part 2 out? Is that
Part 2 just came out last
theaters.
Friday? Yeah.
Theaters, okay. Speaking of which, I'm glad theaters are still a thing.
What? Why?
I love going to a theater. I haven't been in a while, but I've always loved going to see a movie in theaters.
It's a vibe.
It just seems like something that would have been died off years ago.
Yeah.
And it sucks to say. I mean, I'm sure within our lifetime it will happen, or you'll start to see a lot of theaters closing down. But
Do you have like
no, I'm happy to see that it's still going strong because they make a shit ton of money still.
Oh yeah.
So, but you'll start seeing more of it like going straight to like Amazon or Netflix and stuff like that.
Sadly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like going to the theater too, but it is nice that some movies will still release on both.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
Because like I don't want to fucking watch like Willy Wonka in the theater. I don't give a fuck about that.
Yeah, that is true, but
It's got to have like a maybe like a horror or an action vibe. Like specific movies are like very much better in the theater.
Superhero movies.
What did I say?
No, superhero movies.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's
like
good.
That's an experience.
Like fucking No Way Home when we watched that at theaters.
Dude.
Like just the audience reactions and shit. Like that is the best.
That was cool. And dude, just the fight for those tickets, which is weird, but like that was part of the experience.
Yeah.
So it's like, dude,
it's like trying to fucking get Taylor Swift tickets, dude.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
This fucking place is selling out.
But yeah, no, I like that experience that the theater offers. But I mean, if you have like the right ambiance and vibes, then yeah, watching a movie like that at home it can be just as cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Ashley and I are gonna go see Dune 2 this weekend.
Oh, nice. Now I need to watch that first one. I don't know why I never like thought to, you know what, let me finish that.
It's really good. It's one of Ashley's favorite like series or
Really?
like books. Yeah.
Oh wow.
She loves it.
Oh my gosh. She's like a nerd.
She is.
That's crazy. Because I knew that she's always been big into like Tolkien.
Mm-hmm.
And, a lot of people like nerd out over like Tolkien.
Yeah.
But you have those, maybe not the right term, but like the niche few of the nerds that really are into like Dune. And it's like, oh, you're a nerd.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool.
Can't say she's read all the books. I think there's a fuck ton of them. But
oh, I imagine.
Yeah.
Does she like the obviously she enjoys the books, but does she like the original movies?
Oh, like the old movies?
The old movies.
I don't know if she's seen them or not. I'd have to ask her about that.
I did not know that.
Personally, I'm not a fan of like older movies. They're hard to fucking watch, man.
I don't know if and again, I don't know a lot about the Dune universe. Like, what is that? Is it sci-fi? Like what?
Yeah, it's
what
like
is that?
sci-fi.
It's like sci-fi.
Technically sci-fi.
But I feel like there's definitely like some subgenres there. Like I'm definitely thinking like when I think sci-fi, like Star Wars is pretty sci-fi, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Like Dune is like almost like futuristic, post-apocalyptic sci-fi.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know. There's definitely some subgenres going on there. Like it's different. Like I don't watch that and I'm
Name
like,
a metal
man,
band and you can label
sci-fi.
that fucking 10 genres.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that is true. Yeah, I guess when you dig deep enough.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, still been listening to a lot of Devil Wears Prada. I just want to say, I literally just discovered, and I know I sent this to you, but for you listeners, I just discovered that there was a sequel to one of the greatest EPs, and I didn't even know it. I'm 3 years late, but there is a sequel to the Zombie EP, and I'm mad I'm late, but it's been beautiful going through it because it's fucking good.
It was a good EP. Yeah, I listened to it yesterday with you.
Yeah, no, I
can't be mad at it.
No, dude, you need to listen to that like in your car though.
Fair.
Like radio up.
Yeah, it's always different.
Yeah, because we were jamming on Discord, but we were like focused on trying to get a mod to work and playing a game that requires a lot of focus. So you need to just fucking jam that. Because, dude, it hits. And, Devil Wears Prada is not like, when I say it hits, it's not, if like you want something that hits, go listen to Kublai Khan DX.
Facts.
It's not like heavy, but like for them and just the music, it fucking slaps. And I'm just the biggest Mike Caranico fanboy. I guess I'm not the biggest because I slept on one of their EPs for a few years, but I've always loved Mike Caranico. He's just a fucking beast.
That's true. He's a fucking goat at this point.
Yeah. Dude, seriously. Yeah, he is.
Legend.
Like, he's up there with, for me, well, that's not the right way to say that. Just, Mitch Lucker, like, that's a legend.
Yeah.
He's up there.
He was a legend early.
That's what I'm saying.
When he died, people were like, what the fuck?
Yeah, but, like, for me, Mike Caranica's up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, that's my, like, Mitch Lucker.
Like fucking Ozzy.
I mean, yeah. Some people who are into
modern day Ozzy.
Metal, whatever type of subgenre of metal that is.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that is my Ozzy.
All right, I'm going to say some lyrics. You tell me the band.
Oh, if it's like metal like that, then pass. I don't know.
All right, Monkey See, Monkey Do.
Monkey See, Monkey Do?
Yeah.
I don't know. Pass.
Scuba Con.
Oh, okay. That's too broad. But I mean, I didn't know, but I feel like that's probably in like 1,000 different songs, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, true. You could say any fucking word. It's in 1,000 songs. Music's weird, man.
Music is weird. The music's cool.
Yeah. I'd say everybody but deaf people listen.
Yeah.
So quite a bit of people.
Have you, we don't really talk about music too much. I like to sneak it in there when we can. But obviously, you're definitely more of a podcast guy. But you been jamming anything lately, music-wise?
Yeah, I've been listening to some Final Fantasy remake soundtrack while I play.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I just know
Dude,
that is fucking good. Good stuff.
I cannot tell you the last time I listened to fucking music.
Oh, dude, you need to pick it up from time to time.
Why?
Just because, I don't know, you'll be reminded of just like, man, I kind of miss this. This is good.
Well, I mean, we listen to music in Discord. That's pretty much the extent of my like actual listening.
Yeah.
Where I'll like seek a song out, I'll put it in the chat, and then listen to it on the bot. But other than that,
seek out some new music.
Nah, man.
Or maybe just
I'm 30.
Visit a band that, I mean, I know, right?
Once you're 30, you stay with the same music that you listened to previously.
It's very true, and I've done that for most of my life. I literally haven't got past like 2010.
Looking back at me,
I see. But yeah, no, I seriously haven't got past like 2010 when it comes to my music. But you know, like doing that dive into the Devil Wears Prada, for example, just like a band that I've always liked. It's been really fun.
I mean,
like, oh man, like I haven't even heard this, and this has been out for years.
Yeah, when a show comes around, I usually will listen to it about a week prior to like going to actually to the show.
Right.
So just so I can familiarize myself with the music. And then see what other new stuff's out there, see if they'll play any of it. But that's pretty much around the only time. But it's primarily podcasts. But every once in a while, if I run out of podcasts to listen to, I will listen to like some music.
Yeah. No, I love going to this is why I love Spotify so much, just because it creates those playlists for you.
Mm-hmm.
But just putting one on, and sometimes I'm in the mood to where I'll just skip a bunch till a song comes on that I know.
Yeah.
But when I'm in those moods where I'm like, let me just play it out, see what comes on. Most of the time it's something I haven't heard of, and then I'll let it play through, and I'm like, wow, let me like that. That was actually good shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's very true. Like every once in a while, I'll hear like a song on like Instagram or TikTok that's like pretty good, and I'll try to keep it in mind. But yeah. Podcasts. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, absolutely nothing wrong with that. I just have been having a lot of fun. Again, listening to Devil Wears Prada. I just wanted to share that.
Yeah, that's fair.
I literally sent that to like, once I discovered that EP, like that pretty much the same message I sent to you. You have to listen to this. I sent that to like a few other people. I was sleeping, man. Good morning. We slept on this shit. Wake up, bitch.
Wakey.
Wakey.
Mike's on the phone.
Tell Ethan to sit down. Joe Rowe, you got to sit down. It's Mike's turn. Give him
Joe
some
Rowe.
spotlight. Joe Rowe. That's what I call him.
Fish eggs.
Fish eggs?
Rowe.
Oh, Rowe. Yeah. Ooh, Joe Rowe. Ick.
All right. We got one more topic to talk about.
Okay. What do we have? What do we got, Bob? Bobby? Bobbert?
So, I did preface you with this a little bit yesterday, and also I mentioned it last week.
Okay.
But the Yuzu emulator for the Nintendo Switch was being sued by Nintendo. And it just so happens that it was settled in less than a week, or about a week, for $2.4 million paid out to Nintendo by Yuzu.
Yeah, I guess no surprise there.
Yeah. And they had like a little quote write-up after that information came out. It said, piracy was never our intention, and we believe that piracy of video games and on video game consoles should end. Effective today, we will be pulling our code repositories offline, discontinuing our Patreon accounts and Discord servers, and soon shutting down our websites. We hope our actions will be a small step toward ending piracy of all creators' works. Now, that's a front, obviously. They're going to say some shit for some, good press, all that bullshit, but
yeah,
definitely sucks on their end.
It's so weird that like the front say things for good press. Like, you kind of know you have to do it.
Yeah.
But like everyone knows it's just kind of bullshit.
I know everybody knows.
But like, isn't that weird though? Like, hey, we're gonna make you do this. We're gonna make you say it. But like everyone knows it's gonna be bullshit, and you're only saying it because they know we're making you say it.
I mean, I don't blame them.
But still say it.
They're coming
it's
after.
Just weird. It's so fake.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, like, I can't blame them.
Like if you have one
part
of the two companies in the world that will sue you into the fucking oblivion coming after you, then
right.
Yeah, I'm gonna cower.
I mean, I guess to be fair,
because Disney and Nintendo do not fuck around on any regard.
I guess to be fair, like for a long time, they've let it known they do not fuck around.
Yeah.
But like they do things like this to like let people know, please don't pursue these things.
Yeah.
But people keep doing it, so I guess like.
And the thing is
like, all right, we tried to tell you, we begged you not to.
Yeah.
But you keep going. So.
Yeah, like you can make a Pokemon game, put it out there, use their IP and everything, cease and desist. As long as you're not getting people to pay for it, making revenue off of their IP.
Right.
Fine and dandy, cease and desist. Don't do it again.
Okay, slap on the wrist.
But when you're making money from this shit, like Yuzu was making $30,000 a month from their Patreon alone.
So again, like you were telling me last night, the Patreon's what really got them.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
So is this Yuzu? Is this just now going down? No more support for that entirely?
Well, here's the thing. I believe so. There's going to be somebody that picks it up, probably under a different name of some sort. It's on the internet. It exists.
Right. People already have it downloaded.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Yeah. I mean, there's no getting away from that. But
right.
Nintendo will come after other people too, and they have, and they will always do such. But yeah, like that fucking guy that made the Pokemon Power World mod, and he was charging people for the mod.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah,
well, I think it's something like that. And again, when you say that, even I know, with as little as I know with stuff like that, I know, like, you shouldn't have done that. But some people just really don't know. They don't know, like, the laws behind it and all that. And I'm not saying I'm an expert and I do, but just something like that. Like, he probably didn't even know, like, oh, damn, I didn't even know they could get me for this.
Right.
But it is crazy because if you go on, like, something like Etsy and just type in Pokemon, you're going to find just thousands of businesses of people making Pokemon stuff that Nintendo could really, I guess the Pokemon company could go with them at any time.
100%.
But I guess it's just whenever you get in that right light, the right spotlight, you get enough reputation, they're like, this guy's making millions.
Yeah.
Let's get him.
Yeah, I believe, like, a lot of people don't really get in trouble unless you're making over, like, $100,000. Once you pass that, like, $100,000 revenue mark is when shit starts getting, like, bad.
Well, I
guess when you get sued for that, then it's like big trouble.
Well, I guess they got to look at it as that's $100,000 we are now not making.
Oh yeah,
we are now not getting.
That's a fuck ton of money.
That kind of may sound greedy, but I'm sure there's a lot of ins and outs and things that they can put $100,000 towards.
Yeah. Yeah, like maybe raising your frame rate.
I was going to jokingly say, put it towards like performance issues of Pokemon games running on the Switch. But yeah, no, that is wild. That is wild.
So, if you take anything from this podcast, make it that you don't fuck with Nintendo, because they will fucking destroy you every time.
With game studios and playing new games, have some grace.
Very true.
Those are the two things we're going to leave you with. And Dragon's Dogma 2 is coming out.
And it's going to be incredible.
I'm getting excited. What did you think of that video?
Oh, dude, it was awesome.
It looked.
I didn't realize
right?
that you could like swap classes so easily.
Well, I will say, I don't know why I just haven't mentioned it, but that was something that you could do in the first game that I thought was implemented really well.
Okay.
Obviously, it takes time because it's going to take time to, maybe level up this one vocation and then start, from zero with another one with these higher level, enemies and stuff. So it takes time. But it is cool that you have that option.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. That way you could test it all versus creating a new character to have to do that.
Right. I feel like that's going to be really difficult. Maybe another thing we can end with is just deciding like, all right, what initial build do I want to go with?
I was watching all of them and I don't know which one.
Yes, because it showed off. It was mainly kind of focused on like the dual-ended spear, and it showed him just like warping,
which was like the jack of all trades guy.
Yeah.
I think that's the class he was using.
And it was him like, because he was using like magical abilities with it.
Yeah.
But he was like using it. The combos looked cool, but then there was this almost like ethereal like warping to different enemies. And then it showed him using like a magic bow. And I was like, okay, that's sick. And then you see the sorcery and you're like, okay, well, that's also sick. And then you see the combos with the sword, like him doing like the uppercut. And I was like, oh, wow, that made me think of
the
Robert.
fucking shield deflecting, how seamless and sick that was.
I was like, this is going to be really different. Oh, and when you seen him fighting the bandit, but you seen how fast the bandit was with the daggers, I'm like, this is going to be hard, man.
Yeah.
What do I initially want to, like, you want to do it all.
Just the fucking archer, he was, the guy that was doing the video, he was like, this is like so fucking OP. Because you just like shoot out some stagger arrows, and it's like a fucking burst shot, and then you follow it up with like a firebomb arrow, and it just fucking depletes their
And it's just
HP.
like arrows that you're shooting, but it's kind of like hovering and just like centering and lingering around the target, just completely doing damage the whole time. I'm like, this is so sick.
Yeah, so that being said, I don't know how the fuck I'm going to decide on my build, because usually I love a melee build in pretty much any game. It's very rare that I go magic, but fuck, dude, it's like if magic is done like really well.
Right.
Like it looks like in this game, then yeah, I might go that route.
Yeah.
It's fucking hard.
Same, dude. Same. Because again, I think I had stated on the podcast when we've talked about it, I want to go, classic ranger rogue with like daggers and, the bow. And I'm like, I see the magic. I even see like the great sword and now the spear. And I'm like, I don't know. I really don't know. But either way, super excited. Don't have long now.
We do not.
Yeah.
It's right around the corner, brother.
Right around the corner. Are you doing your finest to beat Final Fantasy before then?
Oh yeah. I actually haven't looked up how long the game is or anything, but I'm definitely gonna milk it until then.
Well,
I believe.
Obviously, I think you beating it is no problem. Like, I don't know if you will be able to do 100%.
Oh no. When the game comes out, Final Fantasy won't even exist. I'll break the fucking disc in half. No, I'm kidding.
It's kind of I don't even know if I want to say that. I was going to say it's kind of nice that it's a solo game, just so I won't linger with it for too long. Because if it was multiplayer, dude, we wouldn't drop that game.
I know. We'd
be
like,
play that shit all the time.
I know. We'd be like, all right, no class switching in this playthrough, and then next playthrough, I'll do a sorcerer, you do an archer, and then we'll. I don't know.
But that's why I say I'm like, it's kind of nice. We can just kind of beat it, and then just move on, or go back to something we were working on
until the Seamless mod comes out, and then we're back to it.
Which, hopefully that's like kind of months down the road, so we have time to play other shit that's been coming out. But yes, no, I'm there with you. I'm hoping there will be some type of multiplayer mod.
Oh, God.
Dude.
That'd be so sick.
That would be nice if the Seamless Co-op worked with the DLC of Elden Ring somehow.
It did say, I was looking at the page for it, and it had a bulletin post saying it will work for the DLC. It'll just take time for them. They don't know how much time it's going to take to put everything in there.
One.
And so did the Convergence mod. They both had like stickies on there.
Wow, that's That's pretty damn neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So pretty stoked on that.
Yeah.
It'd be sick to go through all that together.
Hell yeah. No, for real, for real. Well, just to have like that option.
Yeah.
You know, because doesn't in our Convergence Seamless Co-op mod, don't we still have the same progress even if we're not playing together?
I believe
Does
so.
it work that way?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if it's just like that, we can, if it just so happens this day we can play together, but then this day we can't, like we still have the same progress.
Yeah.
Which is really neat. Man, 2024. Already a great year for gaming.
Already, yeah.
Yeah. And still a lot to look forward to. A lot to play. Still got 17 more games to beat.
Yikes.
And 20 books to read, because that was part of it, too.
I don't even remember what games I've beaten this year. I guess technically Lego, Fortnite.
Lego, Power World, The Last of Us.
Oh, yeah, The Last of Us.
I think we're neck and neck. I think we're both at 3.
I feel like I'm missing something. Oh, I played Moonstone Island. I never technically beat that. Oh, I did beat that.
One like that is difficult.
I beat what the fuck was that Pokemon?
Oh,
one game.
Yeah. That one wasn't tempted. Oh, Coromon.
Coromon.
Yeah, you did beat that. Yeah, I forgot about that.
So I'm technically at 4 games.
You're at 4.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Not bad for 3 months so far.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, I mean you're above. Yeah, the average of 1 per month. Yeah, kicking ass.
True.
Proud of you.
Thank you. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
You beat a game this week.
Yeah.
Not often you can say that.
Dude, it's very rare. Very rare that I can be 3 months in and be like, yeah, I beat 3 games.
Yeah.
It's incredible. 2024, who would have known? It's our year.
Especially the amount of fucking time we've dumped into those games.
I know. Dude, yeah, if I would have just played some fucking indie or just like a normal game, like, yeah, I would have, probably be in double digits.
Yeah.
If I was putting that same amount of time. Because, I mean, just those 3 games, oh, man, we're close to 300 hours.
Oh, at least.
Yeah. Yeah, we may be over 300 hours.
I think I have 145 or so in Power World.
Yeah, because you were like 20 to 30 hours.
Like Fortnite didn't even track it.
Oh, dude.
So,
we put some disgusting time into that game.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say it's on par with
It's
Power
definitely
World.
got to be around there.
Yeah. It's definitely over 100.
Last
I would say
120
like to 150.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I was putting just as long of sessions into Lego Fortnite.
Mm-hmm.
We were putting some fucking 12, 16-hour sessions in. It was fucking sweaty. It was fucking greasy hours. Where you're like, all right, I need to get off because I need to eat. I haven't ate in 12 hours.
I've got to work in 2 hours.
Yeah, that amount of time. No, and I've done that. Where it's like, I can't sleep. I'll go mine.
Yep.
Minecraft. Got to get my diamonds. But yeah, no, I think we can end it there. It's a good spot.
All right. Well, this has been episode 72, actually.
Yes.
Of the Hardcore Podcast, and we will see you next week.
That's right. Bye. Stay humble. Have some grace, damn it.
Stay humble, king and queens.
And don't mess with Nintendo. You should know this. Gabagoo. I don't know why I'm doing this.
Italiano.
Gabagoo.
Favorite
Is
Japanese
it gabagoo or gabagool?
Italian.
Is there an L at the end of that? I always say gabagoo. But is it gabagoo?
There's an L.